Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with P45 Knuckle Down Golf. That's right, your destination for everything there is about the game of golf right here in Central Georgia. Obviously, also paired with my partners, thegolfpub.com. Today's a good day. It's raining out there. Got a little chilly again. Don't miss your round. Don't miss your swings you got to put in to get better. Get your time scheduled today and head on up to the pub. It's a perfect day, afternoon and evening to go enjoy that awesome facility and still play a little golf, hit some shots, whatever. I'll be up there later doing some teaching, in fact. So come on by and say hi. And it's an exciting time. We just got done with the API. It was a fun finish between Henley and Colin. We'll talk a little bit about that because it's going to lead into my main topic today, which is a main topic of this season. We are transitioning into the playing season. And in order to prepare for our best play, getting players to kind of begin the process of changing where their focus is, changing what they're thinking about. And a lot of that comes with understanding who the player is. I call it a story. I need to know the story of the player in order to help focus attention on where it needs to be done, where it needs to be attended to, what needs to be done in order to prepare and increase the ability of the player to go out and score, right? That's what this is all about. So one of the things we look at, especially at the tour level, and it's a different thing, of course, but, it's an easy one to see, is it's a pretty even split for the most part between Colin and Henley and, even Connors there. Actually, Connors was coming on strong, real good with one stat. And anyways, you look at the overall statistical, and at the tour level, it's all about strokes gained, not about individual personal metrics so much. Now, when they go home, I bet they look at their own personal metrics for sure. But the tour level, we're trying to compare based off of the entire field and the strokes gained positive or negative compared to the rest. And so by far and away, the one that jumps out with Colin, it's always the same with that young fella, man. He can play the best golf. He was, so good in overall, so good. Oh, man, off the tee was incredible. Approach was incredible. Around the greens was incredible. Henley was slightly better there. But Henley blew the doors off the joint when it came to putting. And that's the big picture here, folks. You can hit the ball off the tee, get it in play. You can hit it up there on the green, near the green, whatever. But getting it in the hole from that point on, that's the ball game, literally, for the most part. I get it. Some of y'all, I park it in the trees and in the water and out of bounds. Okay, yeah, we need to clean that up, of course. However, you can't overlook the fact that Henley got him by about 4.1 strokes gained. 4. And while it looked like an even match coming down to the end of it, and it was, that's a huge advantage in the game, especially competitive-wise. And so 4 strokes, think about what 4 strokes means to everybody for the most part. If you could improve by 4 strokes on average, wouldn't you be a happy person? Right? So it was fun to watch, and it's always a great event with the API. There we go. Right there. On Obama. All right, that's right. Always a fun week, and leading us right into another great week. Now we got the Players' Championship. I mean, can it get any better than this? So, but that's where I want to move over to the next thing, and this is for players more here, focus on their own games and not at the tour level. That's fun, and Players' Championship will be amazing, of course. Hope the weather gets better. Today kind of bleh, but perfect day to go inside. That's the best part. That's what the pub's for. Things I'm doing with players right now, getting them transitioned and prepared for this upcoming golf season is takes a little time. And there's a process involved because we got to stop thinking about swinging here and moving there and this over here and this over here. There's a time. There's always a time and a place, and I break it down into 3 basic parts of golf. I got to get better. I got to develop. I got to skill increase. Blah blah blah. Development. Now I got some of them skills and get better. Now I got to prepare. I got to go out and put it into action with certain measurability and accountability and things like that to help make sure that we're putting it into action in a way to prepare to play our best. And then it's literally taking it to the course, taking it into the position where it counts. And being able to develop a plan, a routine, like all kinds of stuff. These are the things I have to coach with players. It's way more than just here's how to move the club, here's how to hit it this way. That's the easy part. Coaching players into be developing into players is the biggest part of this job. And so we're in the transitionary phase. We're beginning a process, and these are things that are going to be popping up here coming up soon, that some things I'm going to do in general for like an open day out at the International. I think we're going to work on it. Anyways, the key is this. For decades, because I used to find it was difficult to just have a conversation about stats and things, and even some of y'all at this point maybe using the different, the app thingies, and the the GPS systems, or the Arcos, systems and everything, and that's cool. But the key to it is this. That's half the battle. That's just for the recording aspect of it. And some of it's good information and some of it not so good. And whatever. The point is, do you know how to break it down, though, and understand it? And that's what I always found was the most difficult for players. Is they're like, well, I'm tracking this stuff, but what is it? I don't know how to look at it. And like, you're right. That's my job. So I came up with a much more appropriate measurement system. I call it my custom stat sheet. That helps us to really understand better and more effectively go through players' rounds as they start to begin happening here in this spring, and really break them down and understand them in a real way. What I call, I need the story of the player. I need the numbers to tell me something, not just, greens this and fairways hit that. It doesn't tell me a story. I want more effective information so that I can break it down and look and go immediately like, oh, I know exactly how this player played this week, or over the last month, or over the last two. So my custom stat sheet is one big part of it. The second part of it is the short game SWOT is what I call it. So it's an overview, if you will. And so these are two key things that I started working on these things about 20 years ago, and I've gotten it to the point where I really like where it's at now, because it helps us to achieve focus in our preparation, which then allows us to be more prepared and effective for when it counts. And so there's a process to this entire thing. These players have now spent anywhere from 6 months, 8 months, whatever it's been, working to get to this stage. Now we're trying to put it into action and work through and develop just everything that comes to preparing to play their best golf. And that's a lot of stuff. It's not just one thing or two things. There's a lot of things. And so for all y'all out there that maybe have dived into the Birdies app or something, there's about 1 billion of them at this stage. So you can't even keep up with all of it. There's so much of this stuff, but just like a lot of YouTube teaching, it's missing some things. There's some, you've got to have a really solid way of knowing how to analyze that and measure that, and understand it and how it relates to truly how you play the game of golf. And so it's just like the strokes gain system at the tour level. I can't remember the fellow's name and how he came in. Anyways, the guy that developed the initial whole system realized that if you go look at just a stat board on the PGA Tour website, it's not enough information. The basic stat comparison of whether it be average drive or whether it be, whatever, you can spend a whole dang day getting lost in those numbers, folks. He wanted to have a more simplest, real-time data table that was saying, okay, yeah, within the individual stat, but against how are they comparing themselves? In other words, against the entire field for a 1 day, 4 days, one tournament, a month of play, 3 months of play, 6 months of play, 12 months of play. And so the strings gained at the tour level has become the key indicators for basically competitive play, if you will. And so I've come up with more of a basic one that's more appropriate for the average player. So if you want to get into that and find out how this works, I'm going to put a little posting out there. But this will be the YouTube to watch for sure. And then after that, it's all about getting started. The evaluation process. Go back and watch the evaluation video. I'll probably do a new one at some point. Go look at the video with Reagan, one of my former students. Lots of great information there. And that's the key, though. Taking the evaluation, that gets us the start. That gives us the ability to break it down, figure out where we're at, what do we need to do, what are the key points, what's the blueprint for you, the custom plan designed for you, not every Joe that walks through the door. And then we start to discuss how this becomes a process and a plan that we put together, including short game and analysis of that, and then eventually the custom stats and you name it, all these things. And so we begin to wrap that all into it, and it's just, the thing about it is that players just they come to their own realization, which many of them are at this stage, that it's a time factor. Time is the most critical factor when it comes to helping players, not just helping, but getting them to help themselves. And so we've got to find ways to develop appropriate structure with their time as well. So that's it for today. I got to get lots more going. And like I said, I'll be at the pub later for sure. Don't even know if all this other stuff's going to happen today with the rains and all that, but it's going to be a busy day regardless. So be looking for the posting up there and some other things coming up. I want to do, I don't know, probably by end of month, I'm guessing some other announcement thingies. But we're definitely going to do some, I'm going to have a simple version of SWOT with the short game and hopefully get that scheduled sooner than later. And then, but I'm always available, 7 days a week, even early, even late, you name it, and whatever works. We'll get you in. We got to get you for the evaluation lesson first. It's 50% off if you get a lesson pack with it. And lesson packs are scheduled or are discounted all year long, depending upon level of commitment. That's just the way it is. We honor that commitment, of course. And so they're available too. But that's it for now. Ryan Carpenter, P45, Knuckle Down Golf. Everybody stay dry out there.